we have a special guest today, the lead developer on the project, as well as community manager for Incursion Red River, Blue the Robot.
What was that experience like opening the game for the first time to players and giving them that opportunity?
I slowly developed a playable demo, and that was then covered by the famous.
We'll be
And
fucking redacting that name from the show. I'm just gonna say that right. So fucking right, dude. I hate that app with a passion, bro. Did I just see you guys taking some shit on Twitter over an animation video y'all put out?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was, it was funny. But look.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Push to Talk podcast, your premier FPS podcast. We focus on battle royales, extraction shooters, usually leaning more towards the tactical side. I'm your host, Big Fry. You can catch me everywhere, Big Fry TV. Just search it up. You'll find me. I'm joined here by my co-host, Crash Games. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Times are wild. And yeah, man, I've just been getting back in Lemang, playing some of the old gray zone, getting the feeling back and the keybinds down, because the more devlogs they keep rolling out, and the more excited I get for point 4. So I've been back to Lemang, and it's been pretty cool. Little nostalgia trip.
I've been jumping back in Lemang for a little bit here. It's been nice. Yeah, so we know, I mean, we'll talk about this on a future show, but we know that there's an update dropping end of March here, which I'm very excited about. I've been playing a little World of Warcraft as well. That's been dope. And a little Rainbow Six Siege. And I saw you on ABI the other night on stream. That was a nice little return to form. It was nice to see you.
Yeah. I played ABI before they added the stalker anomalies and zombies and all the stuff that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, get my last little bit into there before I pack up my stuff from the Kimona Island and I head over to Lemang, I feel like.
Well, the folks need to know, because we're hanging off the edge of our seats, what's going on with Black Ops? Are you still on the COD train? Where are you at?
Oh, yeah, everybody does. We get so many questions, Fry. You're exactly right. Everyone's
100%.
just dying to know if I'm still playing Black Ops. Yeah, I play S&D. I don't play Black Ops 7. I play Search and Destroy, okay?
Okay.
Let's get it right.
Right.
But yeah, Wednesday nights my buddy Spoo plays, and he's hilarious, so we usually run COD when he plays. He likes to play hardcore Search, and then on the weekends when we want to drink bourbon on stream, Call of Duty and open mics, talking shit is the perfect way to have some bourbon and sit back and play some OBJ games, playing hardcore Search.
Awesome.
But yeah, if you look at my stats in Black Ops 7, I have played TDM one time to make sure my keybinds were good, and then I've only played Search.
Damn.
That's it. Like, I don't have any other games and like anything else.
That's
modes.
kind of how I feel as well. I usually warm up with something and then it's straight to objective base. So, I feel that.
Yeah. So I still dabble in it, but it's always going to be there if I just want to not really think too much and just play some OBJ stuff. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking ahead to this gray zone patch.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Definitely need some gray zone in my life. Guys, we have a special show today. This is actually one you would call a prox chat style show, where we actually have a guest on this week. So today we are joined by the lead founder, co-founder, head honcho behind Incursion Red River, as well as the community manager. You guys might know him, Blue the Robot, who is a YouTuber, tactical shooter YouTuber, who jumped into the game dev space, became a community. He actually was a video editor for them, became a community manager. And we spoke to them for about an hour and a half. We had a good conversation about the current state of Incursion, where they came from, where they're going in the future, and we got some insights into some of the behind the scenes when it comes to game development. So
yeah, I think it's a really cool interview to see where this game's at right now. It's starting to get more steam, right? It's starting to get more traction on its tweets or posts, excuse me, on X. And the player numbers are climbing. They're hanging out up in the thousands of players all the time now. And to kind of catch a game like this on the rise and give you guys a little bit of backstory is really cool, because it came from very, very humble beginnings. And it seems like now it's just kind of catching its stride. And yeah, we went through all the stuff and all the details on how it started and how it's going. And it's pretty cool. And I played it last week, and it opened my eyes to, having a PvE game in the rotation because there well, and we get into it in the interview. There are some very interesting things that I didn't even think about when you play PvE games. And yeah, it's just a super cool interview. I learned a lot.
Hell yeah. So yeah, if you guys end up liking this episode, please leave a like on the video on YouTube, leave a 5-star review on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening to the podcast, and let us know your thoughts down below, wherever you can leave a comment. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know your feedback on the show, and let us know if you were into Incursion Red River, if this is a game that maybe after the interview you wanted to check out. Yeah, without further ado, I think we'll hop into the Prox chat.
Guys, welcome in to the Prox Chat segment of the show, and that means we have a special guest today. If you're doing the math, we have 2 special guests, to be honest with you. We are joined by community manager for Incursion Red River, Blue the Robot, as well as the lead developer on the project, Moritz. How are you guys doing today?
Great, thank you. How
Yeah,
are you?
doing good over here, man.
Yeah.
Blue, a familiar face on podcast with me. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Little familiarity for me. Yeah, so basically what we're going to do today is just go through this project. If you guys don't know what Incursion Red River is, it is a PvE extraction shooter, and we're obviously going to get into what all that means, some of the advantages and disadvantages of the big part of it, which is PvE, talk about the project, how it came to be, the history of it, and all of that good stuff. So I'm excited to dive into it, and I think we will do an icebreaker with Moritz and just say, what games did you like to play before this happened? Because I'm always interested to hear that and then to see where it is now and what changed, what's different, and how you were inspired. So what did you like to play back in the day?
Yeah, that's kind of a difficult question because I wasn't really into shooter games till 18, 19 years old, as I was more like not really allowed to play any shooter games when I was in childhood. So yeah, I came back into the space a little late, but then I got into more like Counter-Strike, these more casual games during university, playing with friends. And then, yeah, started the project and got, while developing it, more into the tactical space, playing things like Insurgency, Sandstorm, looked a little bit into Tarkov, and realized Tarkov would be a little bit too grindy for me. Too many systems to learn and get into it, and thought, well, it's a cool concept, but maybe casualize it a little bit and try to get the gunplay that I like from Insurgency into that game and trying to mix that a little bit. And that kind of where this project all started from.
It's pretty cool. And go ahead, Fred.
I have a number written down here. When did you guys actually start development? I have 2021, but I think it was around there, right?
Yeah, so the very first baby steps I would call was during the pandemic started 2020.
Okay.
But when it really got into this more tactical space, I would say 2021 is where Project Quarantine started. Also, like when you look at the YouTube timeline of our dev vlogs and that stuff, that was 2021. Yeah.
And then it was, if I remember right, you said it was like a school project, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was still doing my master studies back then, and was just a hobby project. And I was doing constant dev vlogs on YouTube, and they were really well received back then, like showcasing some gunsmith stuff back then, mimicking a little bit the type of weapon model customization. And then I slowly developed a playable demo, and that was then covered by the famous Blue Drake. Need to mention here. And yeah, the video really kicked off.
We'll be fucking
got-
redacting that name from the show. I'm just gonna say that, right? Yeah, 100%.
Was that video FTC compliant that he did though? Like we should probably get the producers to fact check that. We're gonna get the producers on that.
Oh man, yeah. But it was crazy because we were like, I was at a party with my friends and I was like looking at our Discord and I seen like Blue Drake joined the server, and then the next day he posted a video of Project Quarantine, And it was like the first time we got covered by a bigger YouTuber back then. And the next day we were flooded by new people in our server who wanted to play the demo, wanted to have free keys for the game. And yeah, it really showed that there was a huge interest in a PvE style Tarkov experience. So yeah, I then also showed it to my family, to my brother, and we kind of thought, well, maybe we should try it and really do that as my first job, so to say. So I was finishing my master thesis, and while doing so, or I founded the company, and then right after the master thesis, I started this as my main project, my main job, and yeah, hoping for the best kind of thing, and just give it a go. Because obviously, when you're studying games engineering or game development, your dream is always like doing your own project, doing your own game, and not working for someone else. And that was like a great opportunity because obviously the numbers were there, the interest was there based on that video, and yeah, I just decided to give it a go as long as I'm like young and independent,
Yeah.
don't have any obligations. Um, and yeah, so far it worked out very well. But it was definitely no easy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I have
we're gonna get into all that shit here. One question before we move on. Blue, when did you first get onto Incursion Red River as a YouTuber? And then how did that lead down your path of becoming their community manager?
Yeah, so it was, I think, 2023 is when I posted my first video on it. It was about the Project Quarantine demo, and it was after Tactic Gamer showed me the game. So that's why I originally saw it from. Oh, excuse me. And then once that was done, I kept making videos on it, and I was like, all right, I'll come back and check up on it later. And then there was just, I remember I saw one of the devlogs, and I was like, I wonder if I could try to just put my hat into the ring and offer some editing services to them completely free. I just wanted to help them out. So I messaged Moritz here, just, hey, like, I know he knew of some of my videos because they were like, some of them got some big traction.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, back then it was like, 10K, 9K, 5K here. So when I messaged him and I was like, I would like to see what I can do. And I even offered like to help him run the social media at the time, which was, just Twitter and Discord at the moment. And then I got into a call. I think it was with him and the creative director, Robin, and their, I guess the project manager, Paul. They all kind of just got together. We had a conversation. They're like, all right, we'll get back with you. And then they're like, hey, I talked to the team and we would love for you to kind of just come on in. And then I became a contractor with them.
Yeah.
So, and that was probably, I think it was like, cause I was there for early access. So like before, let me be like, I don't know what, I'm trying to remember if it was like just a couple months before the early access release, I was on the team working with
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So like maybe like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, we
Nice.
were at that time just struggling to kind of also creating the content for social media, because we were so focused on just getting the
game.
stuff done, right?
Yeah.
And Blue was yeah, providing help, and we were very happy that he offered to join the project.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I saw the potential in the PvE only aspect because I was really heavy into like Stalker at the time and all the mods that came of it. So seeing how good AI could still engage the player, and then when I saw what really actually brought me into when he posted an AI dev blog, and it was the patrol points on where the AI would like choose to go, and then he would be taking some of my feedback as well too. Like personally, we'd be in a Discord DMs, and then so that's I was like, yeah, I need to be a part of this project any way I can. So I was like, let me take some stress away from you guys.
That's
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah, Blue's all right. He's an all right guy.
He's all right.
All right, yeah, all right.
That's awesome.
One puzzle piece I wanted to put together before we get into the game itself. So we kind of got a history of games and how that led you to the path of here. At what point did you want to make games, right? Like your middle school, high school, maybe, and trying to decide a
No.
career path was, and when did it, turn into I'm going to school for this, I'm going to do masters in this, and I'm going to make a game? Like when did it switch from player to developer?
Very early on, honestly, like sixth or seventh grade, I would say. Like I was very much into modding the settlers back then
Mm.
and like creating custom maps and stuff, and was like forcing my brother to play those maps over and over again.
That's cool.
And then yeah, I was already focusing on that, like doing A-level stuff. I was taking extra course on game development. And then yeah, it was luckily there was a um, opportunity to study games engineering here in Munich, and I just went for it. And like there was barely a question mark for me to do something else, to be honest. So yeah, it was always clear to me that I want to do this.
I feel like most people growing up playing video games, like there's always a small hint of like, man, I'd love to make my own. Like that's always been a dream. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like part of your character kind of thing.
Yeah. So going back to the history, you were talking about how you saw Tarkov, you didn't want to create something that was more grindy. What goes into the decision to go with PvE then versus, the traditional PvP that we see in most extraction shooters?
Mm, honestly, scope.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I just thought that doing the PvP aspect would be uh, insane. So we started really just first as a single player game. Like our first Project Quarantine demo was also single player.
Mhm.
And then we had also publisher talks back then, and they were also pushing for the co-op aspect. And it was also something that Tarkov didn't offer at all. Like there was the SPT Tarkov mod,
Right.
obviously, but getting that running in co-op was even more difficult.
Yeah.
So, so it was a logical step to kind of get another selling point for the project to do the co-op aspect. Um, and yeah, it was just skill and market analysis, I would say. And
Yeah.
also I felt like it was just good gameplay that we could offer in a PvE extraction game.
Yeah.
Good experience
How's
for
the
the player.
reception? How's the reception been on that? Do you think? Or I mean, there's obviously people who are like, PV, that we're not going to mess with those
Yeah,
mods. Or
Yeah.
have you been surprised? Has
yeah.
anything surprised you by the reception of being PV only?
I think I wasn't expecting our target audience, which was basically taco for dads, right? That's how we often get called, and we have a lot of
Yep.
players that are dads that are streaming in the evenings and say, "Well, have been working all day and just want to relax and play 2 hours with my friends, doing a raid or two,
Mhm.
and then get off again." And I don't want to have to grind of Tarkov or anything like that, but I still like the core experience. And I think for those people, we have very good experience already. We can just hop in and have a good time for about an hour or two because we don't have the content, but the core gameplay loop still like fun to play. So I didn't really expect that target audience, but I was pleasantly surprised by it, I would say.
Yeah. Um, for the people who they hear the word scope all the time. Now that you're going through development and you're finally here, do you still feel like PvE is a lower scope than something like a PvP shooter?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It puts a lot of stress from you thinking about stuff like cheaters,
Yep.
um, yeah, service structure, balancing of the weapons. All that is just not something we have to worry about.
Yeah.
And it also opens up more possibilities for the customization of the player experience, which I think is a strong point of our game, that you can really tailor the experience to your own liking,
Mhm.
because we don't have to worry about making the game too easy or too hard for someone because, well, it's your game, you bought it, you have it at your own, like, your own decision on how to want to approach a raid and how you want to play it. And I think that's something you can only do if you have the PvE only focus and not have the PvE as a side product.
Yeah.
So
I
that,
I would like to interject my opinion, Fry, and get your take on this. Something I kind of learned when I played it.
Sure.
I had like a really big realization, and I think it goes right along with this because I'm one of those guys. I play PvP only. That's me. I'm that guy. I'm the PvP guy. At least until I get a couple more years older and my eyes glaze over and I can't see anymore because I'm so
Right.
old. But anyway, yeah, I kind of realized as I was playing it, Blue and I were playing it with Ty. We were going through a level, and you can actually play it how you would like if you were doing a military operation because the AI act like military soldiers. You don't have anyone naked with a Mosin and red ammo sprinting through the map, jumping into a bush, hiding and waiting for you. You can actually play it like a milsim shooter if that's what you're after. And I
Yep.
think that was a realization I had. It's like, dude, I wasn't fighting against other players, but I actually found myself being really immersed because we were doing cross shots going down the street, calling out, clear around this corner, hold there's a guy here, audio top right above my shoulder. Like Blue's got that, and we're crossing down the street and moving through and clearing everything. And I just realized like you can actually play it like a military shooter. If you take that play style, if you want to be really immersed and play a milsim and you go to a PvP game and do that and play like that, you're gonna get deleted by somebody min-maxing or hiding in a
Yeah.
bush or camping or somebody that's like knows exactly the spawn, and the times and when you're gonna cross in a certain area, like kind of the Tarkov meta or even the ABI meta. So I
What?
just wanted to tell people who are kind of on the fence, like that's what I realized. You can play it how you want
Yeah.
to.
Mhm.
And to his point too, you don't have to worry as much on the developer like back end about things like
yeah,
you always get the peeker's advantage or a guy's coming around a corner. You have to worry about the latency and whether or not you see
yeah.
him before he sees you. You don't get any of that shit with something like this. So that's cool. Awesome.
And I would
Yeah.
also add in terms of, sorry,
You're
just to
good.
end the point, you don't have to really worry about the player numbers. And that was something that I think,
Mm, that's
I
what I love to
think,
hear. Smart.
You leave the player numbers to people on X. They'll worry
Right,
about it.
yeah, exactly.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
there's
Yeah. I
still
see that
like
every day.
people calling the game that because they're
Yep.
like only couple players or anything, but yeah, you can still play the game anytime because you don't have to worry to find someone else to play with you.
Yep.
And it really helped us kind of taking it at our own pace and don't be forced to push out new content to keep up the player base and then keep up the servers, keep up everything kind of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I just would citate just what you are always saying. They don't do a PvP game as your first project.
Yep. You know, it's crazy though. There's still people that post player numbers for single player titles. I get spammed all the time with transients player numbers, and it's like, it's a single player game, guys. This literally doesn't matter at all, but they care
Yeah,
so
I
much
think
about it.
the metric of player numbers just took way off and it's just above. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it started with like analysis and data and being like, okay, this game's thriving, this game is struggling, and then it turned into this game is fucking shit because and it's taken on a mind of its own. In terms of the scope, you've been developing it now for 6 years. What part, feature, mechanic consumed way more dev time than you thought it would creating something like this?
Um, I think it has easily to do to be the inventory.
Oh yeah.
For an extraction shooter, it's like the core of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and to make that work in co-op and make that because every feature kind of ties into the inventory.
Yeah.
So that really had to get nailed down and make sure everything works at all times. And we kind of rebuilt the inventory also, I think, 2 times. So that was like the part that took the most time. And secondly, I would say the player controller, because that was also the first thing that I was focusing on. Because to me, like that's the first thing when I play new FPS games, to check out the controller and see how smooth does it feel.
Yep.
Is there any clunkiness? Is there anything that I personally dislike? Because like, what are you doing in the FPS? Like when you're playing, you
Yeah.
have always to interact with the controller. So like that's like the aspect that I think has to be on a very top level to be an enjoyable FPS game. So yeah.
both of those things have come a long way since I initially played it. I think I played it for the first time in 2020. Well, I played Project Quarantine, but when did you guys first come to early access? Was it 23 or 24?
It was
24.
2024, April 2024. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in just under 2 years, the way the game feels is fucking night and day. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's cool to see like the people's reactions of that too. Of like, I checked it out when it was Project Quarantine,
Yeah.
and then they stopped playing it for a while, and then they came back maybe the last update before this and saw the progress and came back and saw even more progress. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see that. I would say good like 95% of all the replies and the comments are like, we see the progress, we're sitting and waiting. We also see the communication between the dev team and the player base and getting the feedback from everyone. Like, we're scouring. I mean, we're up all night probably just going through Discord feedback threads just over and over again, just trying to see what we can improve and stuff like that. And then also seeing too, going back to like when Crash was playing, to see primarily like we had a couple like PvPers only, so coming from Tarkov, from Gray Zone, from just like or that remaining arc and stuff like that, playing this game and then seeing the new AI and be like, oh wow, this actually was a bit of a challenge for me as well too. So that was kind of cool to see. And then like even during our playtest, me and Crash and Ty, who is also big Gray Zone PvPer, we all died at least once because I bumped up the AI difficulty mid game. So first we played on hard. We were like, this is too easy. Let's bump it to extreme. And we all died at least once. So, and it wasn't like AI aimbotting. It was just like bad positioning at the time, so
it was definitely my fault.
I have the clip. I still have it.
After playing the last few days with you, I actually kind of believe that.
Okay. No, right. You're supposed to be supportive and say, no, you're doing good, bud. Come on.
No, I was gonna say, with this last time that I played it, I actually went to go update my review, and I realized that the last time I actually reviewed it, I changed it to positive. When Blue, do you remember when you walked me through Bunker when it first came out? Like, what was that?
I believe so. Yeah,
a year ago now, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much
8 months or so.
About a year ago now.
8 months or so. Yeah, I actually changed my review to positive then because I forgot I did because I saw the potential. And then even looking at where it was then to now is insane. So yeah, kudos to you, man. And how big is the team now?
So we're now about 10 people.
10 people.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Is that big or little, Fry? I can't.
I mean,
yeah, I can tell.
I'll say
starting from one,
That's it's a big scale in 2 years to go from 1 to 10. It's still like it's a drop in the bucket compared to the shit that we see out here right now. Right? So,
yeah. But we started like when we launched into early access, we were like 5 people.
Yeah.
Or 4 to 5. And back then, obviously, all like volunteering. Doing that in the free time, and then we got the early access release. We got good initial sales, luckily. I guess we can also talk about how that went, and then we slowly scaled the project and reinvested the money. And like for example, the last update cycle, we were able to hire Ben, aka Solarant, as the AI developer, which was a huge step, I think, for us. And he's doing amazing work. And we were able to get Jane Perry as our speaker for the mission handler. So yeah, it's like a slow progress, but I also feel like this is now the size where we stay until we go into the 1.0, because it's just the project, how it is designed, or how it kind of works in the workflows that we established. It's not really healthy to grow even further. But it helps that we have now dedicated people for all different departments, from 3D assets to 3D modeling for weapons, to animation, to level design, to story design, to AI, to actual game mechanics, and Blue taking the role for community manager, as well as doing some marketing stuff. So we have at least dedicated roles for kind of each department. So it's a little bit more spread, and each has each one has its own like ownership of certain tasks,
Yeah.
which is really helpful.
No, that's
I
good.
even dipped my hand into some level design as well too. So I got
Look at
into
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the engine. That's funny because like everyone like like Morris went to school for this. I dropped out of game design 3 months into it. I was like, nah, this is too much for me, man. I'd rather just play games. But yeah, after getting into it, I did a little bit of like like it was about 3 months ish of just pure level design, maybe 2 of working in Unreal Engine 5, and it gave me now even an even better and deeper understanding of what developers go through, and then also just indie as well too, especially working with the Unreal Engine platform.
Well, and
I
you
would
probably see the stress of like what it's like in the early days to wear multiple hats as a developer, right? When you're doing multiple things at
Yeah.
once and all of those tasks have to get done. Yeah, no, that's what when he says 10 people, it's actually kind of like a damn, that's awesome moment, because I know having what we had on transients, guys were doing multiple fucking things at once and handling all of these different tasks, and it starts to get
Mhm.
really stressful after a while. Talking, you got solar in. When did that happen? How did that happen? And like how? Like that's such a crazy grab.
It was actually very straightforward. Like, it was right after the last update, and then our creative director Robin said, "Hey, I'm currently in contact with Soderman. Do you think we should sign him?" And I was like, "Yeah, please." We got in a group
Right.
chat,
Yeah.
got in a group chat with him, and we had a call, and we said, "Yeah, let's do it, for sure."
That's awesome.
And yeah, he's just a great guy. I love working with him as well. It's also really great to see for me as well to finally be not the only one doing the coding stuff. So we finally two working there. And he really changed the whole AI in our game from also how we approached AI. Like you also have, I think, a good understanding on how AI development in games work. And when I was doing the AI back then, I was like more trying to cheat in some ways to make the AI intelligent.
Mm,
Um, and he has a different understanding on making them smart by adding every possible sense that they can receive from the world.
yeah.
Like even with the player reloads, they get the noise and kind of decide based on that if they should attack the player or not.
Yeah.
So he really makes them human beings by just providing them as many information as possible,
Yeah.
and then still manages to get that information computed in a reasonable level that is still playable, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's really interesting to see.
I can vouch for that. That's exactly why I died, because the AI heard me and I heard the AI. They're on the other side of a wall, and I'm thinking, dumb AI, right? They're just kind of on a plane, like looking around, and I'm above
Yeah.
this guy, so I'm gonna mantle. He heard me mantle, and I looked down, and he looked up, and I
He
ate
was
some
already
lead
there, like
breakfast. Like,
peeking. Yeah,
yeah,
just holding an angle. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
heard me mantling. The AI did, and like looked up at it. Was kind of wild because I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that.
I would love to see
Yeah.
you guys are utilizing like behavior trees for all of your AI.
Yeah, we're using also HDN, like
Okay, cool.
hierarchical
Awesome.
task networks. Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
Like you did, I guess.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, probably
Yeah.
not as extensive as what you guys got going on, but I would love to see the web of those trees, because I bet you it's pretty
It's a web.
extensive.
It's
Yeah.
a web.
It's
Yeah,
definitely a spider web.
I
Yeah.
believe that. No, that's awesome, man. So in terms of the development, would you guys say that AI being the kind of like they're the hardest like technical problem, or would you say that inventory and how interconnected everything is to that? Like, what would you say would be the hardest like technical feat that you guys have had to overcome?
It's hard to pick one,
You're
to be
right.
honest.
Yeah. Fuck
Uh,
all of them.
The
Fucking
answer's,
all of
the
them.
answer's yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yes,
answer
it
is
is.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But I would still argue, apart from all the individual systems, it's still the hardest part to make everything work in co-op and
Yeah.
make the multiplayer aspect work.
Yeah.
Because the AI would only work if we make sure all the systems they are using are replicated.
Yep.
So all that makes every system individually more complicated to implement. So I think that's the biggest challenge we were facing.
Yeah. The amount of people that have asked us to just put co-op in our game after it was already out. It's just like, I don't think you guys realize everything needs to be rebuilt from the
Yeah.
ground
the
up for that.
Switch.
Yeah,
Just flip the
exactly.
switch, turn it
That's-
on,
yeah,
man.
it's crazy.
Just make it,
Yeah.
just tick a box.
Just install that plugin, you know? and you're good.
Yeah. That would be great.
One more question before we get to our next section. Blue, you mentioned that you were working on level design stuff. So from your now understanding of it, what were some of the tasks that you were, because like, were you creating the levels? Like, was it design? Were you laying props around? Like how in depth did you actually get into that engine?
Yeah, I would definitely it was just more level detail.
Got you.
And then I was basically learning from scratch. I did some like map editing. So like originally what got me into it was that I was doing the helping with the mod for the Stalker Armor Forger server.
Yeah.
So with that was kind of like looking at the going into the Infusion engine. It was pretty much almost the same exact layout, just the windows were kind of flipped around. And when I started showing Robin this, he's like, "Oh, our creative director." He's like, "Oh, cool. Hey, why don't you like pretend you were making a certain area for in Vietnam with using Infusion stuff." So I was like downloading just a bunch of random like mods and props and stuff like that, and then making a little Vietnamese schoolhouse layout, and then decorating that, adding trash and lights and all that stuff. And then he's like, "Okay, cool." So then it took a little bit to get like learning the lingo, learning how to get into the engine, the with the cloud, and making sure I'm in the right branch as well too. And
Are you guys using Perforce?
Once
Plastic, unfortunately.
Bro,
Yeah.
unfortunately is so fucking right, dude. I hate that app with a passion, bro.
See, and
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
any
crazy.
different.
Oh
I think
my
this is
God.
just like the industry standard, for me.
It's definitely
So-
not industry standard, but we were
No.
just
I've
using
gotten
it
used
from the
to it.
get-go.
Yeah.
It's
And
Blue's industry
switching-
standard.
Switching is no option.
No, dude.
But
We started on Perforce, and a month in, it completely locked everybody out of the build. And we were like,
Oh.
well,
Oh
we
my
have to find an
gosh.
alternative. Perforce just completely stopped working for everybody. So we had to swap to
crazy.
plastic.
That's
And
crazy.
so I'll take it over
mean-
Perforce just based on history, but man, plastic.
it's still not
bro.
great.
It's still not
Yeah.
great. No, that's cool though.
But it's quite user-friendly in terms of the UI.
Yeah.
Like it's quite easy for designers and everyone to get into it,
Mhm.
but it still has a lot of issues we're dealing on a daily basis, I would say. Almost.
Yeah. There's days where we're just like, hey, we just can't work today until this gets fixed.
Yeah,
you know?
or you
So-
you push a bunch of work and then somebody merges and then all of your work is gone and it's like, well, okay.
Yeah. Or like I'll just forget to mark one box, and then we don't figure it out until a couple merges
Yeah.
later. I was like, hey, that wasn't supposed to be there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
figuring that, getting over those hurdles, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
once I got into it, it was very much like figuring out what needed to be placed, and also talking with our story guy as well too, and figuring out why this would be here for that reason, for missions and stuff like that.
So yeah, you'd be more of like an environment designer at that point. Then when I hear level, I'm thinking like you're actually making the layouts, like you're lifting terrain.
I started getting it in little bits. So I started sculpting as well too.
Okay, cool.
And that was at first I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Then I started getting into like procedural like grass generation and painting stuff and whatnot. So
that's cool.
Definitely, like I would say, the scope got bigger and bigger, and then I'm also wearing the community manager hat, so I got to do that as well too. Especially right towards the update, it was crunch time for everyone for
That's
sure.
awesome.
So, but it was just cool getting into it, and like I can only imagine like 13-year-old me I was working on like some Star Wars RTS maps back in the day. So like I can only imagine like this is what you're doing now. It's like, whoa, that'd be insane. So
that's cool.
It was fun overall though.
Hell yeah.
This is the part of the show as the only non-game dev that I'm just gonna smile and go, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nice.
I'm sorry. We'll get back to it. I just wanted to go off on a little tangent. I wanted to know some
No,
things.
all good. I'm learning, man. That's why I love doing these interviews, man.
Yeah.
I learn so much from everybody that we talk to. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Kind of acting. I'm not a game dev, but I'm a professional podcaster. So here
There
comes
you
a
go.
sweet segue. Since we're going to transition over and talk about early access, and we've talked a little bit about the past and how we've gotten here. One of the things I'm curious about is the landscape for FPS games is always changing. And it
Hmm.
takes a long time to get projects out the door. Obviously, there's so much to do. Since you began development to now, are you still happy with the direction? Do you think it fits? Do you think it fits the market, or do you wish you would have gone a different direction? I'm talking about setting, kind of gameplay loop, the PVE aspect of it. What are your thoughts on that? Are you happy with the direction you chose those years ago?
Um, I think we did pretty much everything right, apart from maybe the setting, if you look back now, because 2 months or 1 month after Gray Zone release, which is obviously not a direct competitor because the gameplay loop is a little bit different, but we are getting compared because of the setting a lot of times to Gray Zone,
Yeah.
and it's just quite unreasonable for us to be able to match their graphical quality because they're
Right.
just a much bigger team.
Yeah.
So, apart from that, I think we done a really good job with choosing the release window in terms of a PvE extraction shooter,
Mhm.
because back then there was no Tarkov PvE official release. So
Yeah.
we were just releasing before the unheard of edition released, which
Perfect
was
timing.
Yeah.
yeah, it really was. It really was.
Yeah, we,
And
we
the
we did a
fit
little cheeky tweak on that too.
we
We were like,
we did, but
yeah, we
don't
do. I
tell
think
him,
we
man.
said, nah, it's there, it's there. It was like,
Yeah.
I mean, all we did was like, 250 for PvE couldn't be us, anyways.
Yeah, I think everybody
Yeah,
got their pound of flesh that week, though, right?
Yeah.
yeah. That was kind of just everyone doing it.
Yeah.
But I
And then I would sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I would also say back then the fatigue in extraction shooters wasn't as big as it is now.
Hmm.
So we were still one
Yeah,
of the first ones to release.
Yeah.
And then also looking at the PvE aspect, I think PvE is growing and growing. If you look at the
Yeah.
landscape right now, what games actually have success,
Yep.
mainly the games with PvE aspects. Um, but I still think there's a very good market for us. It's just got more competitive, and I think with the version we released back then into early access, we would have no success today anymore. But we were happy to, or yeah, to got the chance to grow and to get where we are now. And yeah, it's still a good market for us, and there's still like a niche where we are in that I think a lot of people are enjoying to play. I think we just have to keep focusing on that PvE aspect of our game and make that immersive experience that people are looking for, while also making sure that they can enjoy it every now and then and can hop on and off with their friends without feeling stressed. So
Yeah, I found that when Helldivers 2 came out, that's when I think everybody started to realize like, oh, yeah, we can actually just have fun playing with our friends and it doesn't have to be
yeah,
sweaty. We don't have to
yeah,
worry about
yeah,
cheaters. And I think since then we've definitely seen that shift happen. I mean, even watching the people who were pissed off at Arc Raiders for jumping into the PvE space,
yeah,
everybody wanted that game to be so co-op focused.
yeah,
And
hmm,
to their credit, like they said, the game they were making just wasn't fun. I think you guys nailed the timeline. And I think it's crazy. You guys are actually in a good position to where I think your market share is actually widening. I think there's more people to
yeah.
grab as time goes on, which is a good thing for
That's
I
you.
think
true
we've
as well.
noticed that as well
Yeah,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
I
that's
would
awesome.
say like
it's just getting the
especially
game in front of eyes of people, and then, but even seeing like the going through the comments and the replies stuff like that, it'd be like some people would be like, oh great, another PvE game, but it's like, well, we've been actually at this for quite some time already, so we were
Yeah.
there before Tarkov PvE.
Right.
So and then even seeing like again the comparisons between Gray Zone and us, where they're a made up area, and if you talk to someone who lives in Laos and someone who talks Vietnam, they'll say, some of those people will say like, yeah, they're two completely different countries, they're different ways of living. So like we even have Vietnamese advisors helping us,
Oh,
like
cool.
making sure
yeah,
that the game and the surroundings and the environment, the props are very much in based with Vietnamese culture.
That's sweet.
yeah. We
Um,
like our 3D artist just went to vacation to Vietnam and just
oh,
took a
cool.
lot of references and just got back with a lot of photographs. So you just have to plug
That
my headphones.
Oh, all good. No, I was gonna say, I think it's easy. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the map that was just released for you guys. What was it called?
Delta.
Delta. I think it's pretty easy to make the comparison between that and Gray Zone Warfare
Yeah,
setting, though, right?
Yeah,
that's
100%. I mean,
fair.
we see it too. We see lush green jungle
For
environments, and
Yep.
the housing is very similar.
Hmm.
You know,
For sure.
Yeah, the
Um,
games aren't the same. They're pretty different
Oh,
though.
they're different, and it's funny. At the end of my recent video, there, we were actually talking about that game versus Gray Zone, and I said like I think Gray Zone. I mean, like you said, comparing you guys is not fair. But I said, and to your guys' credit, considering the team size, considering the discrepancy in how much money you guys have made and how many units they've sold, and you guys are kind of putting on a clinic, in comparison to what is on the
the
market that
fact
you're
that we can
competing
even
with.
be compared to
Yes.
them,
Yeah.
Yeah,
is
I
That's
think
true.
I think that comparison is in terms of Delta, the visuals and the aesthetic. I don't think it's far off. Like you guys might not be as visually crazy, the Unreal Engine 5, the great, but like you guys aren't that far off. The comparison is a lot closer than I think people realize. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
cool too.
I can even speak to that as someone who, a lot of you guys, Blue and Fried played it back way a long time ago. I jumped into it a couple weeks ago for the first time. So I jumped in on this
Oh,
alpha
okay.
build where it is now. So I got to
Gotcha.
see, those graphics and stuff for the first time. And yeah, man, it looks
Yeah.
great. Like there
10
was never
people.
yeah, dude. And there was never a time going through the map where I was like, ooh, that's not done yet.
Except for,
Like you go to
their
part of the barn.
palettes.
Interiors. Yeah, the palettes. Dude.
yeah. And you know what though, too, even seeing, and I started getting into like static meshes and complex collisions like that. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like looking at like, how did we miss that? But it's like they're even now
Dude.
when I go and play through the level, I'm like, oh crap, that's the wrong size. Like I can tell that needs to be fixed, or
Yeah.
there's a little bit of the road maybe peeking out too much here. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you start I start to just realize it
The
more.
small details. So
The
Those
small
are not
details.
things I notice.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
well, the one
Normally no one, it just completely glazes over it,
that was a random pallet in the middle of an alley somewhere on a road and we just ended up going there because we got surrounded by AI. Like you're gonna miss things. That's one thing I've
Yeah.
learned going through. You're gonna miss the little shit that somebody's gonna
Yeah.
pick
no matter
up
how
on.
many times you fly over
Dude.
the map and check every
Oh my
single
god, man.
everywhere.
We ran through our levels like stress test for months. First day
Yeah.
somebody falls through a random slit of a roof somewhere and we just there's no way we could have found it. But now
It's also
crazy.
just so crazy how games react to different systems.
Mm-hmm.
We did so much testing also for Dispatch. We have a like pretty big testing group now with like 300-400
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And they were really passionate testing it. And we had like very barely any crashes, anything that really majorly was indicating any issues. And then we were launching the patch, and then people are saying we have so many GPU crashes for whatever reason. Then like switching drivers often fixes it, or
Yeah.
I don't know, like, and it's often out of the developers' hands, kind of, at least for our size, because there's no way we can really tell what actually caused the issue on theirs end. And just it's impossible to make sure it runs on all systems, but still like a lot of people get frustrated by that, obviously, and that's fair because it doesn't work for them, but also kind of hard for us to really fix everything before we release something.
Yeah. I do have a question. Reverting back to your guys' early access release, what was that experience like opening the game for the first time to players and giving them that opportunity? And then if you can contrast that to this most recent update, do you guys find that you have a little bit more confidence going into these things now that you've kind of, lifted the veil and you've gone through that already?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the early access release, as well as the Steam Nexus demo,
Mm-hmm.
they were really, really exciting in terms of what to expect from the players, and also it was more defining for the project, what the outcome would be. But also like especially early access, seeing like we really got lucky in terms of numbers there because it was just perfect timing for us. So it was also really exciting just to see that we had the success that we were hoping for. So it was also in terms of the positive feelings back then, a really high moment. And especially like we were considering kind of mixed reviews because we weren't aware that the game is still in a very rough state. Like there was some potential, some foundation there, but content-wise, performance-wise, there was still like a lot of edges that were very obvious to most users. But I don't know, like probably because we have been very transparent. We had the Steam Nexus demo. We had like pushed, I think, 6 hot fixes during that phase. We like even when you were testing the version before we released into the Steam Nexus demo, and it showed so many very game-breaking issues, and we still like
Yeah.
managed to at least fix the 2 or 3 major issues that you were facing. And then we had a little bit better launch into the Steam Next Fest.
Yeah.
And then we got another month that we kind of were able to delay the game and then fix even more stuff. And then we kind of got away because we were priced pretty low. We were very clear about the state of the game. We were saying what our plans are for the future, trying to be as transparent as possible, and luckily found a market that a lot of players were looking for.
Yeah.
And that kind of put it in a spot where we were still at mostly positive with the release, which I think was crucial for the project longevity. That we kind of managed to get the early access the way that it went.
Yeah, I remember playing that. I think I played it in February of that year
Yeah.
before you guys launched in April. My heart
Yeah.
sank, man. When we ran into all those issues, I was like, man, I really hope
Yeah,
these
because you
guys.
did a solo run and then you also did a co-op one as
Yep.
well too.
Yep. And
Yeah.
the solo one at the time, I was like, okay, I can see it. And then once we got into the co-op side of things, and shit just broke.
Everything broke.
Everything broke.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I was just at the time I was like, man, I don't know. I really hope I was genuinely just like, man, I hope these guys don't like go out and fuck themselves. Honestly, I lost all the confidence. But then
Dude,
honestly,
I mean, and even I get it, yeah, because like there's so many, those early access games that they'll just give
Yeah.
up, or they'll even double down saying like, no,
Yep.
it's not. This is you're wrong or something like that.
Exactly.
So it's like
You're not
Yeah.
playing it
going
right.
through- getting all that, getting all that feedback was super crucial, and even now we still,
Yeah.
we put out 5 hot fixes
Yeah.
since the 25th for this update, and then just seeing the positive reviews come in after that shows that we're on the right path with
Yeah.
that as
Yeah.
well too. And then even seeing our recent reviews go up, and just the feedback. And also I think it helped out too that sure we launched with good reviews in the beginning, and it was very kind of like, it wasn't like it didn't blow anyone out the water. It was still kind of very much underground, that it kind of let us work under the radar.
Mhm.
I feel like. So when
Yeah,
people,
it's
again,
true as
people
well.
haven't played it since then,
Yep.
come back and see the progress, which is really nice.
We didn't
So,
market to say the game as something that it hasn't been.
Right.
Like we didn't say
Yeah.
this is game breaking. This is like a new tar curve. We never said that.
Yeah.
yeah, we're not killers of anything, that's
Well,
for sure.
you know what I
Yeah.
will say to that though? I don't think it's the developers ever saying that though. I hate that narrative that
Mhm.
developers
That's
sit there and
true.
say that their games. Have you ever seen a Battlefield come out and say they're better than Call of Duty? They might take a shot here and there, but it's always I hate being it's always the fucking content creator clickbaiting to make that happen, right?
I'm
Yeah.
happy to see you're finally taking ownership, Fry. This is a big
I
step.
never
I'm proud of
fucking
you.
do that.
I'm proud of you.
But I will say I do. There are some people like in the influencer tactical shooter space that do that, and I think it just sets them up for failure, because then the gamers will run with the narrative that the developers are out here saying that there was going to be a killer, and then they just prey on your downfall, right? No, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, like I think we did post a lot of work in progress stuff in the past before the release, and kind of shown the transparency and that this project wasn't like built within 3 months, but was already being worked on for some time, and
Yeah.
went through prototype states, and it was not just something that popped up and then was likely to go away. Like it could happen. Like obviously you never know when you buy into early access, but
Mhm.
I think the signs were there for the players that we might be one of these guys that actually keep on developing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, and like I said, to your guys' credit, I'll sing from the heavens when somebody proves me wrong, or when they actually stick through with the vision. because I know you guys are what 6 years into it. I know that there's a lot of late nights where you're just like you're pushing through just to get something done. It's a fucking battle of attrition for sure.
Yeah, especially actually, to be honest, like the last patch with all the content that we were trying to push has been like one of the most crunchiest phase of the whole project
Yeah.
because we were really like trying to like, it felt to us like a 2.0 almost release with this update.
Yeah.
With all the like a lot of people were calling us always a tech demo before that. To some degree, I agree because there were like some of the core gameplay mechanics were there, but no real progression, no real reason to come back.
Yep.
It was just you walk through a run and gun, you buy some new weapons, you can level up your traders, but there was like very bare bones. And now we were able to really add a lot of content and kind of set up the lore, set up the story, set up the progression, set up the hideout upgrades.
Yeah.
And all that kind of feels like more of a, let's say, game, right?
Yeah.
And that was a huge undertaking, especially with the story. Like make the writing, but also then implementing everything. And each mission is kind of like its own, and you have to make sure everything, every quest marker, every quest trigger works, and all that kind of stuff. Which was something new to us because we'd never done that before. So we're kind of again underestimating here a little bit the scope, and we're just trying to push through and make it work because we really felt like this would be a huge next step for the project.
Yeah.
We even had to pull back a little bit too. We thought we was going to be on a bigger scope, and we've had to pull back to realize, okay, this is what we actually can do. So the fact that we did all this already, I was like, I can't. As as a player myself too, I still continuously play the game. I'm excited for the next one.
So when you're in early access, you open it up to all these people. That obviously means you're getting a ton of feedback, a ton of feature requests. What is one thing, a piece of community feedback that actually you guys implemented that did change the direction of the game? Is there anything you can think of?
Let me think of like a lot of people were always asking for story, always for progression. I mean, there were things that we quite obviously also planned ourselves, but the community response showed really their priority and the importance to the game.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of quality of life stuff too.
Yeah, that's true. Like especially doing for example, this phase of update cycle, where doing the playtest, we got so many QOL suggestions that we just try to put in as fast as possible. Some low hanging fruits that we just didn't think of when implementing it.
20 more AKs.
Minimum.
Minimum.
Just for buff.
Yeah, exactly. Blue, you're in the community manager role now. You have experience dealing with YouTube comments and everybody under the sun having an opinion. How do you filter and extrapolate the good from the bad when you get 20 million people in your ear?
Yeah, no, that's actually, so I've actually had some help with from Gooms. Shout out Gooms from SCP-5K, since he's kind of been in that world for a bit, and he kind of like broke it down for me as well too. And I started going through, like, let's say all those Steam review comments and stuff like that. I would then I would usually like, I guess I gotta give an example. I would filter through all the Steam review comments and filter like past like a couple hours of actual playing, and then go through all the negative, all the positives, and I just start writing down over and over again, like, hey, what's coming up, what's getting repeated over and over again, because I can now like scan through a review, or even a YouTube comment or a Twitter comment, Instagram comment, and kind of go through, and all the feedback on Discord as well too, like, okay, what's being repeated, what's high priority, what's low priority, what's already planned that is already coming out in another hotfix. Like, we had a couple people that were saying, oh man, I wish the ammo would auto stack when you grabbed it, and it's like, that's actually, like, I didn't reply to it because it's actually already coming in the next one, so like that would be taken care of right away. So at first it definitely, like, I was like, oh man, if only these people can see
Right.
the work that the team is doing behind the scenes, I think a lot of these comments would kind of phase out. But I think that's my job, is to
Mhm.
be that bridge for the players to the devs, to be like, hey, this is what they like, this is what they don't like, this is what's annoying some of them, this is what they think it could change what. And then I would come back like, hey, this is like this is the real side, this is the realistic
Mhm.
time frame of what we can actually do, and then go from there. So I think it's gotten better. I mean, there's definitely some moments where I'm just like, there's a comment comes up like game sucks, not recommend. It's like, all right, just ignore that one, move on.
I
Yeah.
had somebody leave that because we just did the giveaway. I had somebody leave a comment on it, and I responded, in earnest. I was just like talking to them about it, giving them, reasons A, B, and C why I think the game is good. And then I saw they just
Yeah.
responded to 4 other people still talking shit. I'm like, oh, I see why you're there. Fucking shadow ban. Get
Yeah,
the
you
fuck
Yeah,
out
you
of
always
here.
yeah.
have some of
Mm.
these guys in
Yeah.
your Steam forums or in your Discord
Yeah.
that
All this, the
have
Steam discussions.
they're only for one reason there. And yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Just have
yeah.
to
I've
filter
seen
through
people try
the
to like,
negative. Yeah.
yeah, some people try to like legit try to talk someone out of
Yep.
buying the game because they just had a negative experience with it. So it's just,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I think it's to be honest, we let the game speak for itself.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much at the end of the day, we have to let the game speak for itself, because
Yeah.
you can have a great marketing plan, and if the game sucks, no one's gonna care. So
Yep.
Yeah. I always say like a good marketing strategy only works for a good game.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just how do you call it in English? Catalysator for a game, like just pushing it. But if there's nothing to push, you can just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So always focus first on making the best game possible,
Yeah.
and then if you have time, care about the marketing. But sometimes, like a lot of these indie games that actually become successful, they just use the Steam algorithm
Mhm.
by coincidence, because people leaving positive reviews, playing the game more hours than Steam expected, and then pushing it through the algorithm. There
Yep.
was no influencer marketing, nothing like that. It was just a game that we're pushing them through the noise of all new releases. So yeah, I think that should how you should approach the game development.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
especially on my end, you could just you could put the game in front of as many people as you want, and if the product's not there, it's not going to work. And then we've got lucky too, like some of the Steam sales have like pushed up our game on some of the leaderboards, and like some of the
Yeah.
the featured
oh,
games
I
as well
sent that to
too.
you
Yep.
on
Yeah. After this
Scratch
update,
actually
yeah.
on we were like trending for
on Steam
increase in
charts.
player count. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but because it was over like 200% or something like that. So
It's super funny, man. Like the amount of like influencers we reached out to and gave keys, and they'll hit you back and they'll go, "Oh, dude, yeah, definitely check it out." And then it's so funny when you actually query the Steam key to see if they even activated it. They
Yeah,
didn't give a
you can
fuck.
check.
It's like,
You
all
can
right,
check.
fair
can
enough.
check.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can check.
We did touch on the crunch time a little bit with this big update
Yeah.
that you guys had, and that kind of gives us an insight into like game development can be super exhausting. How do you guys deal with like burnout and super long development cycles, and go like what pushes you through like
I would
to
like to
get that
know.
finished?
money,
Um,
just kidding. It's gonna get clipped now.
yeah,
Right.
You'll get it.
Not wrong.
I mean,
Compliment.
success is part of the reason that keeps you working. To be quite fair,
To be
but
fair, yeah, you wanna make sure the game is good for everyone.
positive reception and stuff. But I think what helps is don't have too long deadlines. Um, so that's kind of why I always push for at least the 6-month cycle. So you kind of have maybe at the end some crunch time, but that you can relax a little bit afterwards again and kind of prepare yourself for the next one. But if you have like 2 years and then have all the crunch in the end, it kind of stacks and then kind of completely burns you out. So therefore, we also for dispatch try to even minimize it and do extra small steps and extra milestones in between. I think that's like just project management and planning ahead and trying to not get everything done last minute and kind of expect that everything will work out eventually,
Right.
but kind of test everything in advance. But it's very easy to say because we know that because we had that in the past, and it's still like there are situations where you cannot just avoid it because you may have to rework a major system, or you just have level design issues that you cannot test yet, and then you kind of prolong that test or further out, and then it comes all together, and then you're just, oh fuck, we might have to get some extra hours in and do some night shifters to make it work. And maybe it's also just a habit of game developers to kind of only work if there's a deadline.
Yeah, I have found that a lot of the people that I've worked with, they say like, give me my list of tasks and then tell me when they need to be done, so that it basically just lights a fire, and then they at least know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they're staring
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So with that crunch, with that, I mean, you're in a position where you're also learning how to manage a project as well. You guys said you have a project manager as well now.
Yeah, he's sort of like doing the onboarding and
Gotcha.
set up stuff like G Suite, Notion,
Mm,
all the kind of the backends for project managing.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So throughout development, did you find that your priorities changed over time? Systems that you originally thought were super important then get pushed to the back burner. How has that gone for you guys?
Yeah, certainly. Like we have an increasingly bigger backlog throughout the time that's
Yeah.
not going to get smaller, but more like bigger. For me personally, it was like seeing like the team size growing, obviously more management overhead, making sure that others can actually do their work. Like we talked before about having certain plastic issues that have to get fixed because otherwise people are blocked and cannot work, and
Yeah.
you still like have to pay them because
Yep.
they expect it, but they can't work. So you have to figure it out and fix it. So a lot of like these issues that kept me from doing my task because I'm like still the lead engineer, so I have to do all that. I think that was was just very often the case where I had to focus on other stuff first and try to fix that, try to figure that out, try to assign tasks, try to plan for other people's work, and then getting to my work.
Oh yeah. And then
Nice.
Blue, on your end, how, jumping into it, when we were just talking about, filtering feedback and doing all that, what does your day-to-day look like? How do you prioritize what it is that you need to do, get done? Like what does that look like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely it's different day to day because like trying to chase trends. We just made a TikTok like a few months ago, and like trying to figure out how that whole algorithm goes is not fun. And then like also trying to keep up with the community. Also like doing, we plan on doing some more community events now that the game's in a decent spot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we did that back then, it would be like, what's the point? Really, there's not many
Yeah.
players anyways.
Would have been a
So
sad
now that
event.
yeah, it would have been a very sad community event. But now that we have players, we do plan on like, doing some more community events with just bringing everyone together and doing some giveaways maybe. And then also the fact that we also want to talk more about where we're at, which means I have to put out, more videos and edit those down. And then, we have like we were planning a dev Q&A here soon. So I'll be taking that and then cutting down that into shorts and then just posting that everywhere I can. And then sometimes, something pops up on Twitter and it's like, oh, hey, we got to quickly make a video, edit it, go in and then repost it and go for it.
Did I just see you guys taking some shit on Twitter over an animation video y'all put out?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was a little jab.
Yep.
It was funny. But look, 1.2 million views.
Yeah, right.
On that post, and for the
Fucking
last,
run it.
I was in the chat. I was like, hey, should I retweet something about this?
Yes.
They were like, go for it. I was like, yeah, let me do it. Why not? It's a little jab. Like,
But it's
obviously,
like, yeah.
we cannot reach and take over Tarkov or BSG.
Of
There's
course.
no way.
Yeah.
So the comments there,
crazy to
we were
see the
getting, oh my gosh,
reactions
yeah, some of the reactions were insane.
You say
But,
1.2
that was
million
like,
views. What was the conversion like? Did you guys guys see an uptick in sales that day? Like, what does that look like for you?
Actually not that big. Like it was a
Okay.
little up, but I was hoping for a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah. So you
But
guys
it
went
definitely like,
viral and
yeah.
just took the shit.
yeah.
That's Twitter. That's X right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? And that's the
Um,
thing. It's like we got like maybe like I think 2 negative reviews from that on
Yeah.
Steam.
yeah,
It was
Oh,
because
like,
of
really?
how
this
dare you?
bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go
Right away.
outside, you fucking losers. I'm sorry.
You know, we're
Dude.
still sitting at a good, mostly positive, but it was
Yeah.
just funny to see like some of the backlash from that. And I'm just like, but you know, everyone else is shitting on that. Why can't we can't? You know, so
I'm,
it is what it is. You
dude,
know?
I'm
But,
sweating and have veins popping out of my forehead right now to not
yeah,
Right.
I
not
had to
talk
turn
shit
off
on
my phone
Tarkov and their
notifications,
community.
dude. I had to be like, all right, I can't look at this anymore because like some of it was like super
It's
negative.
so
Like, oh my
funny.
god, I
It
can't.
was so
That's gonna
funny.
mess with
Bro,
me.
I
I
saw
turned it
some.
off, but
I
you
didn't even
know.
see your guys' original tweet. I saw somebody else quote tweet it shitting on it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Incursion. Oh, okay. All right. They blew
Yeah.
up a little bit
But
there. All right.
again, I would say like 85% were like positive,
Yeah.
and then like the
It was
rest
a
of it was
great
just
tweet.
completely. Yeah, so you know, but then I would say just doing that and then going through, you know, and I'm also getting tagged a lot too in terms of like the Discord and stuff like that. Luckily, we've got a really great Discord moderation team now that's helping out with that. So
Yeah.
it's
I
just
I
it
think the
varies from
pressure's
day
on
to
for you
day.
guys. I think it's on now. Like you guys made an impact with this update for sure. So
Yeah,
yeah, moving forward, I think you guys got some eyes on you now.
yeah,
With the-
yeah. I think that just increases the workload in a good way because now I get to like showcase the game to more people, to more eyes. They talk about it, they share it among, you know, their friends, and it's just
Yeah.
it's nice to see that the word of mouth is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be personally. And then also seeing the reaction to some people when we were at Gamescom, like talking to people personally,
Yeah.
that was a cool experience as well too. Be like, wow, you actually like, you know, people would come like, hey, I'm coming for this game. Like, what?
That's
Like,
cool.
that's sick.
That's
That's
pretty sweet.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
people
with
like
the
playing. Yeah, sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, people saying they're playing 501k hours in our game. Like, dude, how? Why?
Scene, yeah. Oh my
What are
gosh,
you
what an hours that
doing?
people put into
That's
it. I'm
dope though.
like you can do
Cool.
that. I guess you could. I guess yeah, you could.
Yeah,
It is possible. Yeah.
I
That's sweet.
couldn't.
Well, you've already spent thousands of hours in the game, like
Yeah.
not necessarily
Yeah,
playing it.
my
Yeah.
game hours are fake, man. It's just me sitting in the menu
Right.
with an editor behind me, you know. So
Yeah, I have 4,000 hours in Steam VR or whatever, but I've never really opened it. It just comes with Unreal Engine. Yeah.
Jeez.
Nice. So yeah, and you can see that in the Steam charts too, with the player numbers going up and with all these extra eyes and stuff like that. What are some of the features, maps, and stories you want to add to the game by 1.0? What do you want to get in
Mm,
there?
yeah, good point. Like, definitely just first and foremost, more content, finishing the story, adding more of the larger semi-open world maps like Delta,
Yeah.
which I think really show the immersive gameplay that's possible in our game. Um, and then yeah, I think would really benefit us is also looking into localization, um, doing better mod support, because I think when we get the modding community going for this game and helping us adding content, I think that would be huge for the project. So that would be some personal project that I think would be really good for the game growth. And then we have a lot of small features, or I call small features, like adding character customization,
Mm.
adding something like a weapon trophy storage in your hideout, doing more for you, the customization, and adding in more of a deeper AI system where AI might engage against each other and kind of helping to immerse yourself in the world that they're not only patrolling but also fighting against each other and have that interaction. And the main goal would be, in terms of gameplay, just making sure that each raid feels distinctive to each other, and making sure that each raid has a special engagement or special moment that you might remember, and making each raid really feel like an adventure kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that we really want to make sure that we get close as possible.
Yeah.
That's
I-
cool.
if
That's
you-
my
Yeah, I
favorite
think you
part
hit
about
it.
extraction
I
shooters.
think you hit it all, and we're just on phase 1 of the story as well
Yeah.
too. So this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, if more maps come and they are of the, I don't even want to say scale, but of the depth of a map like Delta, I think you guys
Yeah.
have a very bright future ahead of you.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal.
Now let me ask you this, because one of the things that we had said for our game is 1.0 when it's out, we're like, that's it. We'll do some post-launch support patches and stuff like that, but we're not adding more content. Fuck that. After 3 years, I was done with it. Let me ask you this. When you guys hit 1.0, do you foresee this entering, I don't want to call it live service, but that live service territory where there's post-launch DLCs and other support, or are you looking to do something brand new after that?
To us, like, first of all, I would say what some people forget is that early access is kind of like a live service
It is.
already.
Yep.
So that's kind of like interesting aspect of it. And after the 1.0 release, I really think that Ready or Not does a really good approach at it, by releasing very interesting DLC content
Yeah.
after launch, and really, like, just the last update shows that there's still like a lot of interest in Ready or Not with
Yeah.
every update.
Yep.
So
Even Insurgency's doing updates still to this day.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
well, but I will say I also know Ready or Not or Void Interactive, they are working on a new project as well as supporting for Ready or Not. Is that
That's
something?
true.
Is that something you guys want to pursue in the future? If you can get to that point where you can maybe afford that?
Um, I think it would be unfair to talk about because I really don't know yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like the project itself is very time consuming and still very stressful, and very can be at times exhausting, at other times very enjoyable, or really giving a lot of feedback that makes me want to continue. So it really depends on how the next years go, and how the reception of the player base still is, and if there's still the market for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really up in the future of whether or not we're doing another title in the same space. But
Yeah.
I definitely think there's a good chance that we do post-launch content, because I really think it is a very good way to support the game after the 1.0 launch, as well as if we are able to get proper mod support as a kind of unofficial way, because we are still using a lot of third-party assets, so you're not allowed to do official mod support, because if you do so, you have to own all 3D props that you're using in your game, which is very
Right.
unlikely that we're able to do that. So
Yeah.
it has to be kind of like an unofficial mod support.
Okay.
Then I think the game could sustain or fight for a long time after 1.0 launch.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, obviously.
That's
Just put
awesome.
me in as +1 for a multiplayer bomb mode game.
Yeah,
You're right.
Just
I'm sure people
mark me
would
down for that
implement
one.
that. I'm sure people would implement that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
right now we have the Nexus mods that people are, which we've actually there was one mod that increased like the safe or one of the large safe loot amount loot count, and we actually liked it and we added it to the game.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
cool
So-
mod. Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
little things, but just like things that the community looks at, does themselves like, hey, actually we would like to implement that into the game. So
Yeah.
I think, and then again with the localization, putting it into multiple languages,
Yeah.
I think that'll help out as well too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And also
really huge,
the comment I see every day, when's console, when's
Oh
controller
my
support,
God.
and you're like,
Just buy a
man,
PC.
Just
buy a fucking
These days
PC.
kind of expensive, but yeah,
I get it. No,
I can't even imagine trying to go to console right now.
No,
you
I totally get it. It's just when I see the same person asking for console for the last like 8 years, it's like, buddy, put $100 a year and you'll get there. You know what I mean?
Play the market a little bit on RAM prices. You can find an entry point.
No shit. Um,
And it's like it'd be
Yeah.
cool, but like the idea is there, but
It's
it's like how realistic is
I'm
it
just
really?
not
We don't
sure
know
how
yet.
well it would perform on console because the
yeah.
target
Yeah,
audience
yeah.
on PC is quite different to the very casual
Mm-hmm.
player base that you have on consoles.
Yep.
But I think Insurgency did very well on
They did.
consoles.
Ready or Not did very well
Um,
as well. Not.
so it's not like
So it's
I
like,
don't
you
think
know,
there's a market for it. So
Oh,
I
for
wouldn't
sure.
say no, like a definite no to it,
Yeah.
but I just don't think if we can make our systems all like work on a decent level that we wanna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see.
Um, well, I think we're getting to the end of the show here, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on, man. I'm very proud of what the team has done over the last few years. You guys are absolutely slaying it right now. I want to end on one last question. This is for both of you. What advice would you give someone starting their first indie game dev journey today?
May I start, or do you want to start, Blue?
you're still thinking, okay. I know for
No,
me,
I have an answer. I think I
I-
have
He's
an
like,
answer.
don't
yeah,
do it.
because for me,
Um,
it's different though, because like I
mm,
went into the more community manager side,
Mhm.
but I think what helped out is that I had the experience beforehand, just doing it, for free. And I think a lot of people, I've had some people reach out and they're like, hey, how do I get started? How do I, um, you know, get into this, become a video editor for a game? It's like, well, do you have any video editing experience? And they
Right.
usually, it's like, I got like 10 videos on YouTube. I was like, well, just keep doing it. And I always kind of go back to your advice, Fry, you gave to me about like just do the YouTube for a year and then come back to me. And then that's what I kind of give the advice to everyone. Like just do the work for free. You're gonna have to
Mhm.
do it for free for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then make that resume, make that LinkedIn, make those connections,
Yep.
and then put yourself out there.
Awesome.
I would my advice would be, I think like four advices, I honestly would first of all say scope would be the biggest one. Make sure the scope is manageable, and don't dream too big too early, and just make sure you have a something that you can reach within a reasonable time frame, so
Yep.
you don't get demotivated too soon and like get stuck with the unfinished product.
Mhm.
Two is like making a market analysis, and don't just assume because you like your own game that it's going to perform, but look at if there's
That part.
actually competition and if people are interested in, and what is your competition and how you're differentiating from these guys. And then the third one would be like just stick to it. Don't give up on the first obstacle.
Mhm.
There will be many ahead, so prepare for a very rocky road, and eventually you will be successful.
Yeah.
So these three, I would say, come to
Awesome.
my mind.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. That was a great conversation. And I think with that, it's time to head back to the lobby.
Guys, welcome back to the lobby. That was an awesome interview. And before we kind of react to his stuff, I just want to give a super thank you to Blue the Robot for coming on and to Moritz for taking time to do that. I think Moritz was up at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
his time to be able to get on. So we just really appreciate those guys doing that. And yeah, like Fry said up at the top, be really cool to hear from you guys down in the comments if you enjoy interviews like that, feedback on it, as well as maybe are you going to wish list or even check out Incursion Red River, and maybe even myself as a PvP person kind of convinced you to maybe give it a try, because it was eye-opening to me. And I think the game is to a point where I feel comfortable kind of recommending it to people
I
if you're
think so
looking
too.
for a PvE shooter and stuff. It is a finished, I mean, not I don't want to say finished, it's still an alpha, but I mean it's fleshed out long enough. I don't feel bad, telling you to give it a go, because
For
it feels
20
like a good
bucks, I
game.
think there's more content there than a lot of games in early access at that state. So yeah, I think, pretty
Yeah.
good
And
price, sizable future. I think they got it.
yeah, and we learned at the end, they got a lot of stuff playing too, so it's
Mhm.
still going to be happening
Yep.
with that stuff. So I'm excited to see it. And we always talk about on this show kind of an industry view of things. That's kind of how we like to look at stuff, and I
Yep.
am very interested to watch it moving forward as it kind of carves out a niche of a PvE extraction shooter, like we kind of highlighted. It's in a very interesting and pretty unique spot. You know, I mean, single player Tarkov's kind of like that, but this is even more like just a straightforward PvE extraction shooter that you can, you know, log in a couple hours a night, have fun, and not kill yourself trying to min max or sweat it out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cool to see that section of extraction shooters grow and how that part of the industry does moving forward. What do
Yeah.
you think of everything?
It was interesting to me that he said that he looked at Tarkov and he wanted to, because what I assumed is he wanted to make a, you know, single player co-op Tarkov, but realistically he looked at it and said, I want to make a Tarkov that's not as grindy with gunplay from Insurgency Sandstorm, which to me is kind of like, that's the pocket of FPS that I find myself wanting to play games in. And so I never thought of the Insurgency inspiration, but like, yeah, pretty cool to see. It's not as clunky as Tarkov. It's not as grindy as Tarkov. And that's what he wanted. So I thought that was cool. Interview is dope. I always love getting the insights into, I mean, honestly, for me, the best part was finding out they use plastic, and I don't know why. Don't ask me. I like knowing that shit. It's always interesting, like, because you can't see any of that stuff behind closed doors. And I always want to know, you know, what people are using, what software they're using. We could have talked 45 minutes about, you know, are they using, you know, any do to organize tasks or what? Like, I just want to know that stuff. I just geek out about it. So,
Yeah, I can really relate to that too. When I used to do filmmaking stuff all the time, you'd see somebody make a really cool short film or something.
Yeah.
You're like, man, what camera did they use? What did they edit or color grade that with? The same doing YouTube. It's like, do you think they used After Effects or they
Right.
using Resolve and Fusion or so I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
cool.
kind of interesting to know the secret sauce.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys liked that interview. And again, the biggest thing for us is we're still new on the interviewing and actually, like, you know, coming up with questions, coming up with that whole pipeline. So we always want to know your guys' thoughts on the interview process itself. Do you think we asked the right questions? We're always down for feedback, and we're always down to build this and build it better for our community. So if you guys can leave your thoughts wherever you're watching or listening, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter even. I find some people are coming through to the live streams now and just letting us know, and giving us feedback there. So it's awesome. We're always ear to the ground with it. So
yeah, I just want to say, because all we want to do is bring you guys good content.
Yep.
So like that's what we're here for. So feedback is very welcome. We just want to keep getting better.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm excited. We got some cool stuff coming.
Oh yeah.
Coming down the pipeline in the next few weeks. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, my socials are down over here. YouTube.com/Big Fry TV everywhere. Crash, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, same spot. I think mine's down here too. I'm not the editor guy. I'm just gonna trust you on this one. But it's down there as well. Yeah, man. Crash_game on YouTube, FPS_Crash on X, Crash8 on Twitch. You guys can check me out anywhere. I'm usually live in the evenings. And yeah, I love it. Well, I have people come through the live stream and say, man, caught you on the podcast with Fry, and I love it, man. So yeah, feedback's great. That makes me happy. And I just appreciate everyone. I appreciate Fry, man, for letting me be part of this project, and looking forward to the future.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, guys, that was your Push to Talk podcast for whatever week it is that you're listening to it. March 17th is when we're recording this.
I don't know where I am.
Yeah. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.